Hello Canada, welcome back to another edition of Canadian Citizen Journal. I'm your host, alias to Guy. So not much happening there for big stories, kind of quiet. So we're just going to do a revamp on this show, kind of catch you up on everything that's happened in the last couple days. We're going to start off with that plane incident. There's some pretty wild footage coming out. It's the only footage that I could find anyways that I've seen of the actual plane crash. So it definitely gives the inspectors and everybody a better idea of what exactly happened. So let's just roll that off here, and I'll play it twice for you because it's a quick clip.
Oh no. Oh, that's... Tower, you're seeing this airplane just crash into 3.
Let's play that one more time.
5, 2, 3, I can take a minute. Oh no. Oh, that's...
So we just got an
Tower,
update here. I guess they retrieved the black boxes. Let's take a listen, see where they're at.
The black boxes have been recovered from the Delta Airlines plane that crash landed upside down Monday at Toronto Pearson International Airport. All 80 people, 76 passengers and 4 crew on board the flight survived. Authorities say 21 people were injured, including 1 child. 2 people are still in the hospital. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is leading the investigation into the crash, and the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Aviation Administration will assist. The airport's president and CEO thanked first responders Tuesday for their quick response to the crash.
The crew of Delta Flight 4819 heroically led passengers to safety, evacuating a jet that had overturned on the runway on landing that was amidst smoke and fire. I thank each and every one of these heroes, every flight attendant and crew member on Delta Flight 4819.
CBS News national correspondent Nikki Batiste joins us now from Toronto. And officials will have a chance here to speak to the pilots and air traffic controllers as part of their investigation. What are some of the questions they'll be asking?
So it's interesting, Lindsay. I was speaking with a Delta pilot who's not involved in this at all to get a sense of what he thought about that. He said, look, when you watch the video, the way that the plane lands is nose first onto the runway. He said the way that we land planes when we have a safe, proper landing, the nose is up, the back wheels touch first. So he said, I want to know, could the pilot not see the runway? Could he not? Was it the weather conditions? Did something happen with the landing gear? Was it an aircraft issue? So those are some of the questions I think that investigators will want to ask the pilot and air traffic control.
Great insight there. What concerns does this latest crash raise about air travel? What are people telling you?
And then this is where they get into a little bit of the scare tactics. We're not going to bother getting in on any of that. So there's been a lot of talk about this Asteroid 2024. And it seems like every couple days it's going up 1%. It's going up 0.5%. So this is the latest update on it, and this guy actually does a really good job of explaining what's going on.
Okay, NASA has just increased the chance of an asteroid wiping out an entire city in 2032 by 3.1%. Let's consult our good friend and astrophysicist, Dr. Brad E. Tucker. Now, Dr. Tucker, we've got a cost of living crisis, a climate emergency, international conflict, and now we have to worry about an asteroid taking us out?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's a hard lead-in to follow here. But no, I think the answer is no, don't lose panic over this. There's a reason why we're paying attention to this, because it does have a risk high enough that warrants attention. Because really, most of the asteroids we find have so little chance of even coming anywhere remotely near the Earth. We just kind of ignore them and say, oh, yeah, you know, they're fine. They're out there. This is one of those few where, in fact, our procedures are paying off of lots of effort in finding and tracking them, showing, hey, we actually can find these ones that may be a worry, and sufficiently far away enough that we can plan and do something about it. So it's a good thing in this case.
Okay, I'm very relieved to hear that. Now, NASA is tracking a particular asteroid. What is Asteroid 2024 YR4?
So this one was discovered late in December. And so this is one of the reasons why this risk has kind of moved around. Originally, it was about 1.7%. NASA, as you said, is now saying 3.1. The European Space Agency said still about 2.4. So there's a bit of range uncertainty. And that's because when you find these asteroids, they don't move that fast relative to the size of the solar system. So you need lots of observations over months to really pinpoint with the accuracy we need in this case to know exactly where this is going. One of the big uncertainties we have is actually the size. It could be anywhere between 40 and 100 meters, which that's a big difference in terms of impact potentially on the Earth. So right now, James Webb Space Telescope, NASA's big telescope in space, is going to start studying this object so we can get a pretty much pinpoint measurement of its mass. And that will tell us a lot about not just the risk if it hits the Earth, but what is that impact going to look like if, and the big if it hit the Earth.
In the highly unlikely event it is on course to hit Earth in 2032, can it be deflected Hollywood blockbuster style and knocked off course?
Well, so this is the interesting thing. A few years ago, NASA tested a mission called DART, which hit an asteroid, which was 160 meters, which is over twice the size of this one, and changed its orbit. Now, the fact that we found this 7-8 years away from its potential impact means that you could build a mission in time. We already know it works and could actually potentially alter it. Because even if you alter it enough, maybe it still hits the Earth, but we pinpoint it more into a spot of the ocean. Because if it hits the ocean, it's not going to be this giant tsunami we have to worry about that impact. It's essentially none. So we actually can do something about it with enough warning. So a lot of this work we've poured into asteroid detection and monitoring is paying off in this case.
With all that, how worried are you about a collision?
Look, I think we have much bigger worries to have than anything else. I am still going to pay my bills. I cannot get out of that excuse. I can't say, hey, I know I'm not going to pay my mortgage. No, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. And even if it does hit the Earth, 70% of the Earth is ocean. So we do have most of the likelihood of it even hitting the water. And even if it does hit the Earth, the damage will be contained to a relatively small area. So don't lose sleep over it. This is why people like me and others monitor these asteroids so we can prepare, just like in a bushfire or other natural disaster.
Love your work. Thank you so much for joining.
So, yeah, and it's going to change more and more. And as it gets closer and they have more visible objects around it that they can use to navigate its actual speed trajectory, they'll get a more accurate reading on it. So we've got a fair amount of time for that. Everybody's kind of, I notice online, there's a lot of people that are freaking out over it. It's a long ways away. Not to say that shit don't happen, pardon my French, but easy. I just want to go back to this because this is the stuff news does. It just, oh my God. Listen carefully to what she says.
Has just increased the chance of an asteroid wiping out an entire city in 2032 by 3.1%. Let's consult our good friend and astrophysicist, Dr. Brad E. Tucker. Now, Dr. Tucker, we've got a cost of living crisis,
Cost of living crisis, right?
Now, Dr. Tucker, we've got a cost of living crisis, a climate emergency, international conflict, and now
90% of the economy's problem is that these idiots keep saying we got a climate emergency, especially when they're talking about an asteroid hitting Earth. Okay, I'm sorry. Moving on. I thought this would be a pretty cool little clip to throw at the end of the asteroid. I think you'll get a kick out of this.
Is that this meteorite was caught on video complete with sound.
So this is the first time, to your knowledge, that we can see and hear a meteorite crashing?
Yes, to my knowledge, yeah.
And it happened on Canadian soil. Back in July of 2024, a homeowner in Marshfield, PEI, returned from walking his dogs to find this starburst of dust on his walkway. Curious.
And now they posted this only a month ago. I think it's just over a month ago, because they did an analysis to guarantee, like, they wanted to know for sure what it was. So just so you know why this video is, it's like they're saying it happened in July, but they just got back all the analytics. So that's why they're talking about it now, because now they know what it is.
He checked out his doorbell camera and saw this. The video seems to raise more questions than answers, but a closer look at the two frames before the apparent impact clearly shows an object falling from the sky at a fast speed. Suspecting a meteor, they reported it to the University of Alberta, where Chris Hurd curates their meteorite collection. He confirmed it was a meteor impact, and it also happens to be the first one documented in PEI.
They were saying, well, you probably want us to send you some material. And I said, well, actually, I'm going to be on PEI next week. Within a couple weeks of the fall, I was actually there with some family members documenting the spot, looking at the little divot on the walkway.
One of the things Hurd examined was why it pulverized the way it did. And it's not just because it impacted the ground at around 200 kilometers per hour.
This type of meteorite is from probably from an asteroid in the asteroid belt. And so it's come a long way, but it probably had experienced other collisions and was sort of weakened. This rock was probably just barely hanging on when it actually hit the ground and happened to run into the walkway as opposed to the grass, and then just completely shattered.
A lucky break, as it may never have been noticed on the grass, but also lucky that no one was hurt, considering how close the meteorite hit to the dog's tie-out cable.
One of the owners was standing in an exact spot 2 minutes before, so it could have been disastrous, but it wasn't.
What are the odds? Do we know the odds?
The odds are extremely low that this would happen.
Pretty wild. The fact that they actually caught that on camera is just absolutely amazing. And like they said, if it would have hit the grass, the owner would never have checked the camera. We probably would never have seen this. But because it actually hit the paving stones, we were able to see it. So I thought that was pretty cool. So a lot of people are wondering about the Pope. I thought I'd throw this in here. This is the newest update on how he's doing.
Pope Francis is battling pneumonia in both lungs as the 88-year-old's hospital stay gets extended. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest on what the Vatican is saying.
Pope Francis has been in the hospital since Friday while doctors treat him for what the Vatican is now calling a complex condition. Originally hospitalized for bronchitis, the Pope then developed pneumonia in both lungs. The condition is concerning for the 88-year-old who had part of his right lung removed when he was younger. Still, the Vatican says Pope Francis is in good spirits.
Pope Francis is going forward and is very lucid. He is showing an extraordinary testimony of serenity and aptitude during illness.
People gathered outside Rome's Gemelli Hospital to show support.
We came to pray for our Pope. He's not feeling fine, so we came to pray for him.
He is in the hands of the best doctors that exist not just in Rome, but in Italy, because Gemelli is very well known even on an international level.
Pope Francis has been hospitalized several times with other health issues. One respiratory expert explains why this hospital stay might have become necessary.
If someone has damaged lungs and they're having a problem breathing, they may need more support with that. Treatments like oxygen to help kind of tide them through the infection until it clears up.
Pope Francis has been reluctant to miss public events in the past. His public greeting has been...
Yeah, so he's a little sad that he's going to have to miss out on some public events. We got a kind of a crazy... people nowadays, and I don't know if this is an insurance thing or a vandalism thing or what. It almost looks like it's done purposeful. They hit a certain couple of units, but there's this fire... the police put this out. So this happened in Peel in the township of King. if you recognize the vehicle or those guys or their voices or their names, make sure you call the Peel Regional Police or York Regional Police. Man, some people. Looks like he dropped something there. Some people, hey, some people got absolutely no respect. Absolutely crazy. So we're gonna end this on a happy clip. While the prairies are just starting to come out of a really nasty cold spell. I mean, we're climatized to it. But down in the States, there's like some 90 million people, I guess, that they've got issues, freezing pipes. They haven't seen it this cold in decades. So it really caught them off guard. In the meantime, Ontario and Quebec, they got nailed by a pile of snow. And, well, when in Canada, right?
It's really the best time ever. The weather in Montreal is, at least in my case, the most amount of snow I've ever seen. The snowplow pushing an entire car is definitely representative of what the city looks like right now. In front of my apartment, there's this huge mountain of snow. Our group of McGill friends, we worked on it for like 2 and a bit hours. Honestly, it's one of the quicker ski jumps I feel like we've made. We are about 6 or 7 of us. We have 3 shovels going. And I think everybody's just kind of locks into this mentality. We're like little kids again. We're making this jump and we're not going to stop until we get it. And at one point too, we were wondering, we hope there's not a car under here. So like checking a little. From the afternoon to past sundown, we were out there for sure. It's so much fun, like shovels, sledding down, trekking back up to the top.
Sliding in style.
My friend was honestly getting pretty good air. I think at the end of the day, people love to see people having fun in the snow. This is Canada, this is what I love, and I think that's my favorite part of it.
Good old Canada. Well, that ends it for the show. Hey, I just want to put a special thanks out to all my friends and family that have been helping me out. I don't know if you've noticed a lot of upgrades here in the back. Video equipment starting to get a lot smoother, better microphones, better tuning, better software. Got a brand new webcam here today, and we're going to have an internet hopefully fixed by next Monday. So, yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please make sure you hit the like, and if you want to see more, subscribe and share. And don't forget, punch that notification button so you don't miss a future episode. I'm Elias Tagai, and you've been watching the Canadian Citizen Journal.